Act as if nothing affects you and see how your world transforms. Act like a Stoic. Have you ever wondered why some people seem untouched by life's challenges, no matter how intense the storms around them get? What if you could face criticism, setbacks, and difficult situations without losing your sense of peace? Imagine walking through the chaos of daily life with the calmness of a Stoic, where nothing external can disturb your inner world. Today, I'm going to show you how to achieve this, and more importantly, why embracing this mindset can make you virtually invincible when it comes to handling adversity. Through the powerful principles you're about to learn, you'll discover how to transform life's challenges into stepping stones for personal growth, and how to build an unshakable foundation of calmness amidst the chaos. If you're ready to stop letting external forces dictate your emotional state, I want to invite you to make a symbolic commitment today. In the comments, write, "Nothing will affect me." Let this simple phrase be the foundation of your inner strength and the first step toward mastering the art of Stoic calm. Ready to begin? Let's dive into the first principle and start transforming your world from the inside out. Number 1. Control what you can. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by life's unpredictability? Maybe you're facing unexpected challenges at work, or perhaps you're struggling with the actions of someone else, leaving you feeling powerless. Life can feel chaotic, and it's easy to become lost in these moments of uncertainty. But the Stoic philosophy offers a refreshing perspective that can radically change how you approach life's challenges. One of the most powerful Stoic secrets is focusing on what you can control. While it's true that you can't control everything that happens to you, the one thing you always have power over is how you respond. Life will always be unpredictable, and it can sometimes feel like people will disappoint you, things won't go as planned, or the universe is working against you. But in the midst of all this uncertainty, the Stoic mindset offers a profound lesson. The only thing you can truly control is your own thoughts, emotions, and actions. Think about this for a moment. When you encounter a setback, perhaps a challenging situation at work or an unexpected event in your personal life, how do you typically respond? Do you allow frustration, anger, or despair to take over? Or do you take a step back and consciously choose a different, more thoughtful reaction? According to Stoic principles, it's not the setback itself that determines your peace of mind, but rather how you choose to react to it. This is one of the Stoic secrets that can truly transform your life. Instead of allowing negative emotions to dictate your actions, you have the ability to change your perspective and embrace challenges as opportunities for personal growth. Consider the story of a man named Marcus, who found himself facing a tough situation at work. His boss unfairly blamed him for a project failure that was out of his control. Many people would have become angry, defensive, or even demotivated. But Marcus, practicing Stoicism, took a different approach. He paused, realizing that he couldn't change his boss's behavior, but he could control his own response. Rather than succumbing to negative emotions, he chose to take a deep breath, compose himself, and approach the situation calmly. He decided to use the failure as a learning experience, improving his skills and moving forward without allowing bitterness to cloud his path. Now imagine if you applied this approach to your own life. What if, instead of allowing frustration or helplessness to take over in challenging situations, you focused on what you could control, your thoughts and actions? What if you practiced the same calm, composed response that Marcus did? By doing so, you free yourself from the anxiety of trying to control the uncontrollable, and you open the door to greater peace of mind. When you focus on controlling your own response, you take back your power. You no longer waste energy trying to manage outcomes that are beyond your influence. Instead, you channel your energy into what truly matters: your emotional resilience, your capacity for growth, and your ability to respond with clarity and purpose. This mindset is not about perfection. It's about embracing the power to stay calm and composed. regardless of what life throws your way. The more you practice this approach, the more you'll be able to navigate life's complexities with grace. When you encounter unexpected challenges or uncontrollable situations, ask yourself, what can I control here? By focusing on what you can control and letting go of the rest, you unlock one of the most powerful Stoic secrets, emotional freedom. Through this, you'll cultivate a deep sense of peace and resilience, knowing that no matter what happens around you, your response remains in your hands. Number 2. Step back. Remain silent. In life, especially during moments of conflict or provocation, our instinct often drives us to react, whether to defend our beliefs, assert our position, or simply protect our sense of self. This is a natural response, one shaped by emotions and a desire to preserve our dignity. However, modern Stoicism offers a different and far more empowering approach: the power of silence. In such situations, choosing silence is not a sign of weakness or avoidance, but rather a conscious decision to remain grounded and unshaken amidst external chaos. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This philosophy encourages us to focus less on the external and more on cultivating internal strength. By choosing silence, we gain the ability to detach ourselves from the emotional turbulence stirred up by others. This detachment allows us the space to reflect thoughtfully and respond with clarity rather than impulsivity. When we choose to remain silent, we allow ourselves the opportunity to process our emotions and thoughts objectively, without getting caught up in the drama or negativity that others may be trying to provoke us with. In these moments, silence is not a passive retreat, but a powerful tool of self-control. It is an act of resisting the urge to immediately react to the stimuli around us. In doing so, we create a buffer between our emotions and the situation, giving ourselves time to reflect and choose the best course of action. Instead of responding impulsively, we can think about how our words or actions align with our values and the person we strive to be. By resisting the urge to speak in the heat of the moment, we avoid saying things that we might later regret. This measured approach allows us to remain true to ourselves and preserve our integrity. Silence in this sense becomes a reflection of inner strength, showing others that we are not easily provoked. It communicates that their insults, criticisms, or passive-aggressive remarks will not disturb our peace of mind. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful than your own soul." This is the essence of Stoicism. Our inner tranquility should take precedence over the need to defend ourselves or prove a point. We learn that not every verbal attack or irritating comment demands a response. By remaining silent, we are actively choosing to protect our emotional stability and uphold our dignity. Silence becomes a shield, guarding us against unnecessary emotional expenditure and preserving our ability to remain composed, no matter the circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that reacting to every provocation only fuels the fire. Instead, we are encouraged to let go of the desire to be right or to win every argument. In doing so, we prevent ourselves from getting caught in a cycle of conflict that drains our energy and peace of mind. The beauty of modern Stoicism lies in its ability to teach us that silence is not a form of weakness, but a powerful tool of self-regulation and emotional wisdom. Choosing silence in times of conflict or provocation enables us to navigate life's challenges with greater clarity, poise, and wisdom. It allows us to preserve our inner peace, protect our emotional energy, and build resilience against the chaos of the world around us. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and external pressures, silence becomes an anchor that helps keep us grounded and unshaken by the winds of provocation. Rather than being swept away by the storms of criticism and conflict, we can choose to remain calm, composed, and centered. Through the practice of silence, we embrace the Stoic principle of controlling what we can and letting go of what we cannot. Silence is an active choice, a decision to protect our peace and navigate the world with wisdom and strength. Number 3, emotional resilience. In life, adversity is not a possibility but a certainty. Every person, no matter how successful or resilient they may seem, will inevitably face struggles. These moments of difficulty, while often unwelcome, are precisely when we have the potential to grow and discover aspects of ourselves we might never have known. Modern Stoicism offers a profound perspective on adversity. Challenges are not roadblocks meant to stop us, but rather opportunities designed to help us build emotional resilience and develop character. This core teaching encourages us to see obstacles not as setbacks but as essential parts of our personal evolution. By shifting our mindset, we learn to welcome hardship, not as something to fear, but as a valuable tool for our growth. This is the foundation of Stoic philosophy, which asserts that it is through challenges that we find the strength to improve ourselves mentally and emotionally. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." These words remind us that the obstacles we encounter are not meant to stop us in our tracks. Rather, they serve to propel us forward, encouraging us to adapt and evolve. When we face challenges, whether in our personal lives, careers, or relationships, we are given the chance to hone our emotional and mental fortitude. For instance, when criticism comes our way, it is natural to feel attacked or discouraged. However, with the Stoic mindset, we learn to see criticism not as an insult but as a powerful opportunity to build patience, resilience, and grace. Rather than being consumed by negative emotions, we can choose to embrace the lesson within the feedback, using it to refine our character and become stronger. In doing so, we rise above feelings of inadequacy and become empowered to improve, turning an uncomfortable moment into a stepping stone for self-betterment. Modern Stoicism teaches us that true strength is not defined by the absence of hardship, but by our ability to maintain inner peace in the face of external turmoil. Emotional resilience is not about avoiding life's difficulties or escaping the pain that inevitably comes with them. It is about learning how to adapt, grow, and rise stronger from each challenge. By cultivating resilience, we allow ourselves to remain unshaken in the face of life's difficulties, managing our emotions and maintaining balance even when the world around us is in turmoil. Emotional resilience teaches us that each struggle, no matter how difficult, is an opportunity to fortify our mental and emotional muscles. Think of it like training for a marathon. The more we endure, the stronger and more capable we become in handling the next challenge. Through the lens of Stoicism, every setback is not a sign of defeat but a stepping stone to personal growth. With each challenge we encounter, we are given a chance to refine our emotional resilience, emerging more composed, wiser, and prepared for the future. Just as a sword is tempered in the fire, so too is our emotional strength tested and strengthened in the heat of life's difficulties. As we develop this inner fortitude, we are able to meet life's storms with a sense of calm and grace, refusing to be knocked off course by external forces. Emotional resilience, in the end, is the art of remaining grounded when the winds of life blow the hardest, protecting our inner peace from being disturbed by external chaos. By mastering this ability to remain steadfast in the face of adversity, we equip ourselves to navigate life's inevitable challenges with unwavering strength and dignity. Instead of fearing hardship, we come to see it as a reminder that we are being shaped into stronger, more capable versions of ourselves. Every obstacle we face is an opportunity to build resilience, preparing us for whatever may lie ahead. We apply the teachings of modern Stoicism. We realize that our greatest growth often comes not from avoiding adversity, but from embracing it, learning from it, and using it to become better versions of who we are meant to be. Life's challenges are not obstacles to overcome. They are the means by which we are forged into the strongest, most resilient versions of ourselves. Number 4, embrace imperfection. Have you ever felt the weight of trying to be perfect? Maybe you've spent hours or even days working on something, whether it's a project, a relationship, or even just a personal goal. And no matter how hard you try, it never quite turns out the way you envisioned. It's frustrating, right? And it's all too easy to feel like you've failed when things don't go according to plan. Perfectionism often brings with it feelings of disappointment, self-doubt, and stress, because we set these unrealistic expectations for ourselves. And let's be honest, when things inevitably don't turn out perfectly, it feels like we've fallen short, which can lead to frustration or discouragement. But here's the truth. Perfectionism can be a major roadblock to happiness, growth, and living a fulfilling life. It keeps us focused on an impossible ideal rather than on progress, and it keeps us stuck in a cycle of self-criticism. However, the Stoic philosophy offers a refreshing and empowering perspective. One of the core Stoic secrets is the recognition that perfection is nothing but an illusion. Instead of striving for flawless outcomes, Stoicism teaches us to embrace imperfection as a natural and necessary part of the human experience. The Stoics encourage us to accept that mistakes, setbacks, and failures will happen, because they are all inevitable in life. When you accept this fact, you take the pressure off yourself to control every little detail or to make everything perfect. This shift in thinking can be incredibly liberating. It allows you to focus on what really matters, making progress, no matter how imperfect it may seem. Think about it. How many times have you beaten yourself up over mistakes or felt defeated when things didn't go as planned? What if you allowed yourself to shift your focus from perfection to progress? What if you started celebrating the effort you put in, rather than fixating on how things should have turned out? Reflect for a moment on your own life. What dreams or goals have you held back from pursuing because you were afraid of imperfection or failure? What if you let go of that fear and embrace the fact that mistakes are part of the process? Imagine the possibilities if you took more risks, tried new things, and viewed every mistake as an opportunity to learn. That's the Stoic mindset in action, recognizing that perfection is a hindrance to growth, and that true wisdom comes from learning through imperfection. Consider the story of a woman named Sarah. For years, she dreamed of starting her own business, but every time she thought about it, she would get paralyzed by the fear that her business wouldn't be perfect. She imagined everything having to be flawless from day one: the marketing, the products, the customer experience. The pressure of this impossible standard kept her from taking action. Then, one day, Sarah decided to stop waiting for the perfect moment and took her first step. She launched her business fully aware that it wouldn't be perfect, but determined to learn and grow along the way. Sure enough, things didn't go exactly as planned. Some of her ideas didn't work, and she made several mistakes. But instead of giving up, Sarah embraced each setback as a valuable lesson. She adjusted her strategies, learned from her missteps, and ultimately built a stronger, more successful business. Through her imperfections, she discovered not only her passion, but also her true potential. Her willingness to accept imperfection and learn from it allowed her to grow, not just as a businesswoman, but as a person. This is the true power of embracing imperfection. It's in the imperfections that we often find the most growth, the deepest wisdom, and the truest versions of ourselves. The Stoic secrets reveal that by releasing the need to be perfect, we open ourselves up to greater learning, richer experiences, and stronger connections with others. Perfection can make life feel like a series of impossible standards, but imperfection invites authenticity, creativity, and freedom. The next time you feel yourself striving for perfection, take a step back and ask yourself, what if I embraced this moment as an opportunity to learn? Instead of viewing your mistakes as failures, try seeing them as invaluable lessons that shape you into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient person. By practicing this Stoic mindset, you'll find that life becomes not only more fulfilling, but also more peaceful and genuine. Through imperfection, you unlock the key to living a life that's authentic, adventurous, and full of growth. You've just made an important stride on your journey toward mastering yourself. Now, we'd love to hear from you. How are you applying Stoic principles of emotional resilience in your life? Leave a comment with this slogan: stronger with every challenge. It's a powerful reminder that each obstacle is an opportunity to grow. By sharing, you inspire not just yourself but others too. Keep going. Your transformation is unfolding right now. Don't forget to stay tuned for more insightful content, and remember, your resilience is your strength. Number 5. The power of creativity. In life, we often associate creativity with artists or those in creative professions, believing that it is a gift bestowed upon only a select few. However, Stoicism teaches us a different perspective, one that emphasizes creativity as a vital tool for everyone, regardless of profession or background. Creativity, as modern Stoicism reminds us, is not just about self-expression, but it is also a powerful problem-solving tool that helps us navigate life's challenges with innovation and fresh perspectives. It is an essential resource that we can draw upon to approach difficulties with curiosity, adaptability, and resilience. Whether we are facing work-related problems, trying to solve personal challenges, or simply looking for ways to make our daily routines more enjoyable, creativity offers a way out of stagnation. It allows us to think beyond the conventional and find new, inventive ways of dealing with whatever life throws our way. In this sense, Stoicism encourages us to view obstacles not as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities for creative thinking and growth. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, the ability to creatively reframe challenges is key to building resilience, turning adversity into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Creativity, in this light, becomes an important aspect of mental flexibility, allowing us to adjust to changing circumstances and find solutions when faced with difficulties. Moreover, creativity connects us with our inner selves, offering a therapeutic outlet for processing emotions and gaining clarity. Whether it's through writing, painting, gardening, or any form of creative expression, we are able to channel our feelings into something tangible, thus gaining a deeper understanding of ourselves. This process not only provides emotional relief, but it also helps us to reflect on and make sense of complex emotions, offering clarity and peace of mind. In today's fast-paced world, creativity serves as an anchor that grounds us in the present moment, allowing us to practice mindfulness in the midst of daily distractions. Engaging in creative activities brings a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction, reinforcing our sense of purpose and well-being. Creativity, by fostering mindfulness, also nurtures our resilience, encouraging us to embrace the present and adapt to what is unfolding around us. In addition, sharing our creative pursuits with others can inspire those around us, fostering connections and strengthening relationships. It has the power to build community, as creativity often brings people together through shared experiences and mutual understanding. Stoicism, in its true essence, emphasizes the importance of building connections with others while maintaining our inner peace. Creativity, then, serves as a bridge between our individual journey and the larger human experience, adding depth and color to our lives while promoting both personal growth and communal bonds. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Creativity invites us to take control of our mental landscape, shaping our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions in ways that contribute to our overall well-being. In this context, creativity is not just an artistic expression, but a lifestyle that encourages flexibility, adaptability, and resilience, qualities that are central to modern Stoicism. By nurturing our creative side, we embrace a mindset that is open to change, resourceful in the face of challenges, and deeply connected to both our inner world and the world around us. In doing so, we unlock endless possibilities for growth, joy, and innovation, empowering ourselves to live a life of meaning and fulfillment. Number 6. Set healthy boundaries. In the pursuit of a peaceful and fulfilling life, setting healthy boundaries is a critical practice for maintaining emotional and mental well-being. Boundaries function as protective walls that guard our inner peace, ensuring that we remain balanced and not easily swayed by external influences. Modern Stoicism, in particular, teaches us that we must prioritize our well-being and establish clear limits with others in order to preserve our mental and emotional clarity. Without these boundaries, we risk becoming drained by toxic individuals who may take advantage of our kindness or overwhelm us with their negativity. These individuals, often unaware or indifferent to our needs, might push our limits in subtle or overt ways, exploiting our desire to please or accommodate them. But, as Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, reminds us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Similarly, emotional wealth is not found in constantly meeting the needs of others, but in protecting our own emotional reserves. When we fail to establish boundaries, we lose sight of who we are and what we value, as we become entangled in the demands and emotions of others. By setting healthy boundaries, we are asserting our self-worth and protecting our precious energy. Boundaries are not about pushing people away or rejecting them. Instead, they are about defining how we interact with others in a way that supports our values, goals, and personal well-being. It's about creating a space in which we can nurture our own growth without being overwhelmed or manipulated by external pressures. It's important to recognize that boundaries are not a form of selfishness. They are an act of self-respect and self-care. In fact, practicing boundaries allows us to give more to others in a healthier, more meaningful way. Think of boundaries as the foundations of a home. They help keep the space safe, secure, and inviting, while also offering protection from harm. Just as we wouldn't leave the doors of our home wide open to all, we must not allow our emotional and mental space to be invaded by those who do not respect us. Setting boundaries is therefore an act of self-preservation, an essential practice, to ensure that we stay aligned with our values and avoid unnecessary stress. Effective communication of boundaries is key to their success. We must learn to communicate our limits clearly and calmly, without fear or guilt. It's easy to feel guilty about setting boundaries, especially if we worry that it might upset others or create conflict. However, as the Stoics would advise, we cannot control the reactions of others. We can only control our own actions and responses. By setting boundaries thoughtfully and with respect, we invite healthier, more supportive relationships into our lives, relationships that nourish and help us grow rather than drain us. Think of setting boundaries as an ongoing practice, one that requires consistency and a strong sense of self-awareness. As we practice this art, we begin to experience the positive effects of having more control over our interactions and relationships. We create an environment where we can truly thrive, unburdened by negativity or emotional exhaustion. In today's world, where we are often bombarded by external pressures, whether from work, social media, or even friends and family, the importance of setting boundaries becomes even more pronounced. In this fast-paced, connected society, it's all too easy to lose sight of our own needs as we focus on meeting the demands of others. Modern Stoicism teaches us that emotional resilience and clarity are cultivated when we prioritize ourselves and set limits that honor our mental and emotional health. Boundaries are not about isolating ourselves or becoming indifferent to others' needs. Rather, they are about ensuring that we engage with the world in a way that supports our own well-being. When we respect our own boundaries, we are better able to engage with others in a meaningful, balanced way, without compromising our sense of self. By practicing this Stoic principle, we create lives that are more aligned with our values and goals. Setting boundaries gives us the freedom to live authentically and with purpose. It enables us to protect our time, energy, and emotional resources, leaving space for the things that truly matter. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or depleted, we begin to feel empowered and at peace, knowing that we have control over how we interact with others and how we protect ourselves. As we establish these limits, we make room for deeper connections, personal growth, and emotional stability. Through modern Stoicism, we understand that setting boundaries is not a sign of weakness but a sign of strength, a practice that enhances our resilience, protects our peace, and ensures that we are living in alignment with our truest selves. Congratulations, you've made it halfway through the video, and I want to commend you for your dedication to becoming a better version of yourself. I'd also like to humbly ask for your help by leaving a comment, as it greatly supports my channel. If you're unsure what to write, simply drop a phrase like, "I'm setting healthy boundaries so I know you've made it this far." And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Let's continue building our resilience together and unlock the true power of Stoic practices in our everyday lives. Number 7. Handle manipulation with calm. Have you ever been in a situation where someone tried to control you, make you feel guilty, or manipulate your emotions to get their way? It's not a pleasant experience, and it can leave you feeling confused, frustrated, or even helpless. Unfortunately, manipulative people are everywhere. They may use guilt, emotional vulnerability, or confusion to try to influence you. But here's where the Stoic philosophy offers a life-changing tool: the power to decide how you respond to manipulation. One of the powerful Stoic secrets is that, while you can't control others, you always have control over how their actions affect you. Instead of reacting emotionally to manipulation, Stoicism teaches us to stay calm, consistent, and clear. When someone tries to push you into doing something against your values or interests, you can choose to remain composed and stick to your boundaries. By doing this, you not only protect yourself from being manipulated, but also maintain control over your own thoughts and decisions. Think about a time when someone tried to manipulate you, whether it was guilt tripping you into helping them, pressuring you into making a decision, or trying to get an emotional reaction out of you. How did you feel in that moment? Did you give in, or did you stand firm? Imagine how powerful it would feel to remain calm and assertive, regardless of how much emotional pressure was put on you. This is exactly what the Stoics encourage. They remind us that manipulative people often rely on creating emotional turbulence to wear us down, but by staying calm and centered, we become almost invincible to their tactics. The more consistent and clear we are in our responses, the less power they have over us. Let's take an example. Imagine someone in your life tries to guilt you into doing something you don't want to do. Instead of getting upset, angry, or defensive, you calmly and consistently state, "I understand your perspective, but my decision remains the same." This simple but steady response not only reinforces your boundaries, but it also stops manipulation in its tracks. It's a powerful tool for asserting your autonomy without getting caught up in emotional battles. By mastering this technique of handling manipulation with calm, you preserve your emotional well-being and keep your decisions clear and free from outside influence. It's not about being cold or indifferent. It's about remaining grounded and not letting anyone's actions control your reactions. Manipulation loses its power when we don't engage emotionally with it. Instead, we regain control over our thoughts, actions, and decisions, allowing us to act with clarity and purpose. Think about how often manipulation can show up in your life, whether it's at work, in relationships, or even with friends or family. By practicing the Stoic approach of remaining calm and steady, you can protect yourself from these emotional traps. Every time you calmly reinforce your boundaries, you not only protect yourself but also show respect for your values and decisions. As you begin to apply this Stoic secret more and more, you'll find that manipulation no longer has the same power over you. In fact, it'll start to feel like you have a shield that helps you navigate the stormy waters of emotional manipulation with ease. So the next time you encounter someone who's trying to manipulate you, remember, you don't need to react emotionally. Instead, take a deep breath, stay calm, and assert your boundaries. By doing this, you'll find that manipulation no longer has the control it once did, and you'll gain more confidence in protecting your own autonomy. Through consistent calmness, you'll regain control over your emotional landscape, giving you the power to make decisions that align with your values and sense of purpose. Number 8. Don't fall for provocations. In life, we often encounter provocations, deliberate attempts to stir up emotional reactions. These provocations can come in many forms, whether through insults, criticisms, or passive-aggressive comments, and they are frequently used by toxic individuals to elicit a response from us. Their goal is to provoke us into defending ourselves or reacting impulsively, thus pulling us away from our emotional equilibrium and peace of mind. At times, it can feel impossible to resist the urge to react, especially when we are attacked or criticized unfairly. However, modern Stoicism offers a powerful counter to these tactics: the ability to remain unaffected by external disturbances. This practice is rooted in the belief that while we cannot control the actions or words of others, we always have control over how we respond. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus encapsulates this wisdom with the powerful insight: it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This teaching encourages us to develop emotional resilience, learning not to internalize the behavior of others or allow their negativity to disrupt our inner tranquility. The Stoics emphasize the importance of practicing detachment, a skill that helps us to observe provocations from a distance without allowing them to provoke us into an emotional reaction. When we view provocations as external events, separate from our thoughts and emotions, we begin to realize that their power lies only in how much we let them affect us. By remaining calm and composed in the face of criticism or insults, we effectively diminish the power these provocations have over us, rendering them useless. In this sense, choosing not to engage in the emotional turmoil they seek to create is not a sign of weakness, but of great emotional strength and resilience. It demonstrates that we are in control of our reactions and can maintain our peace, regardless of what others say or do. In today's world, where people often engage in quick emotional exchanges, it's easy to become caught up in the cycle of provocation and retaliation. When we feel attacked, our natural instinct may be to defend ourselves, but Stoicism teaches that this is not necessary. Rather than reacting impulsively or defensively, we have the option to respond thoughtfully and calmly, with neutrality. This kind of response, although not always easy, can often diffuse the situation and neutralize the potential for further conflict. For instance, if someone criticizes us unfairly, we can choose to thank them for their feedback, reflect on it, and then respond in a composed manner without feeling the need to justify ourselves. This approach allows us to preserve our peace and avoid unnecessary arguments. By learning to respond in this way, we free ourselves from the exhausting cycle of emotional reactivity, which can drain our energy and disrupt our emotional balance. Over time, this practice of detachment can become second nature, allowing us to handle even the most trying situations with grace and poise. In a world that often feels charged with negativity, learning to detach from provocations is a vital skill for maintaining emotional well-being. As Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By adopting a Stoic approach to provocations, we can learn to control how we respond, thus safeguarding our inner peace and dignity. This allows us to move through life without being rattled by every external disturbance. By practicing detachment, we preserve not only our emotional strength but also our sense of purpose, allowing us to stay grounded in what truly matters. In doing so, we protect our peace and cultivate the resilience needed to navigate the chaos of modern life. Detachment from provocation rooted in modern Stoicism, empowers us to engage with the world not from a place of frustration or anger, but from a place of calm, clarity, and confidence. This practice provides us with the tools to navigate life's challenges, respond to adversity with wisdom, and remain focused on our personal growth, all while maintaining the emotional peace and strength necessary to live a fulfilling and purposeful life. Number 9. Choose silence wisely. In the midst of conflict or negativity, silence is one of the most powerful tools at our disposal. Choosing silence doesn't imply running away from confrontation, but rather refusing to engage in unnecessary drama and emotional turmoil. Modern Stoicism teaches us that silence is not a weakness, but an act of strength, particularly when we are confronted with criticism, insults, or provocation. In many situations, silence speaks far louder than words. It communicates self-control, emotional resilience, and a sense of inner peace that cannot easily be disturbed by the words of others. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This simple but profound reminder encourages us to choose our responses with care, recognizing that not every comment or insult warrants a reaction. By remaining silent, we not only protect our emotional state, but also avoid giving others the satisfaction of seeing us lose our composure. Silence in this context becomes an act of mastery over our emotions, allowing us to stay grounded and composed in the face of provocation. In the modern world, we are constantly bombarded with information and opinions, many of which are designed to provoke a response. Whether it's a social media post, a heated debate at work, or an unkind comment from a friend, the temptation to react impulsively is ever present. However, the practice of choosing silence allows us to take a step back and regain control over our emotional state. Rather than being swept away by the waves of negativity, we pause, reflect, and consider our next move carefully. This space for reflection is vital. It gives us the time to assess whether engaging in a response will contribute to a positive outcome, or whether silence will serve us better. Silence gives us the clarity to recognize that not every battle is worth fighting, and some conflicts are best left unresolved. The Stoics understood that restraint is a sign of strength, not weakness. By practicing silence, we cultivate a sense of calm, avoiding unnecessary drama while preserving our emotional energy for the things that truly matter. Choosing silence is not about avoiding confrontation entirely, but about engaging thoughtfully when it is necessary and productive. In situations where speaking up will only escalate the situation, or where our words are unlikely to make a meaningful difference, silence serves as a powerful alternative. For example, when someone insults us or criticizes us unfairly, responding in kind often only perpetuates the conflict, draining our energy and emotional resources. Instead, by choosing silence, we maintain our peace and show that we are not easily rattled by the negativity of others. This decision to remain silent can often leave those who seek to provoke us feeling frustrated, as they fail to get the reaction they were hoping for. In this way, silence becomes a tool for reclaiming control, as we refuse to be manipulated or drawn into unnecessary conflict. The practice of silence also extends to our internal dialogue. In many situations, our first instinct is to respond to an external provocation with an internal reaction: anger, frustration, or defensiveness. However, by embracing the Stoic principle of silence, we learn to quiet these inner reactions, giving ourselves the time and space to reflect before responding. By doing so, we prevent ourselves from becoming slaves to our impulses and emotions. Silence in this sense is not just about refraining from speaking. It is about cultivating a sense of inner peace and self-control, where our thoughts and feelings do not control us, but we control them. This internal silence allows us to act with intention, rather than reacting impulsively, and it helps us navigate life's challenges with grace and clarity. In today's fast-paced, often chaotic world, the value of silence cannot be overstated. We live in a time when opinions are constantly being voiced and the pressure to respond is ever present. However, as the Stoics teach us, silence is not an absence of action, but a deliberate choice to preserve our energy, our peace, and our clarity of thought. By choosing silence when it is appropriate, we protect ourselves from unnecessary stress and emotional upheaval, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. This practice of silence is a key component of modern Stoicism, and by embracing it, we can create a life that is more grounded, composed, and purposeful. As we learn to choose silence wisely, we develop emotional strength and resilience, enabling us to handle life's challenges with confidence and composure. In this way, silence is not simply the absence of noise. It is a powerful and intentional act of self-mastery, one that helps us navigate the complexities of modern life with wisdom and grace. We are truly thankful to have you as part of our community. Have you ever faced a situation where someone tried to provoke or test your boundaries? How did you handle it? We would love to hear your experiences. Your insights could inspire others to navigate their own challenges. If you're not sure what to say, don't worry. Feel free to comment with something simple like, "Silence speaks louder than words." Let's keep the conversation going. Your voice helps make this space a source of growth and inspiration for everyone. Number 10. Don't absorb others' toxicity. Have you ever found yourself caught in someone else's emotional storm, feeling overwhelmed by their negativity or toxic behavior? It's all too easy to absorb the frustration, anger, or resentment of others, especially when they project it onto you. Toxic individuals often try to pull those around them into their emotional turmoil, hoping to drag others into the same chaos they're experiencing. But here's a powerful insight from Stoic philosophy that can change the way you handle these situations. You don't have to absorb their toxicity. In fact, you have the power to decide how you respond to others' actions, and you can choose to maintain your peace no matter what is happening around you. This is one of the most profound Stoic secrets, learning to practice detachment. When someone behaves negatively toward you, you can choose to observe it without allowing it to shake your inner balance. The Stoics remind us that others' actions are a reflection of their own internal struggles, not a measure of our worth. It's not about what they're doing, it's about how we choose to respond. Imagine this. You're having a conversation with someone who is angry or upset, and instead of getting caught up in their negativity, you take a step back. You don't let their frustration consume you. You see it for what it is, an expression of their own struggles, and you remain centered. This practice of detachment not only protects your energy, but also helps you preserve your sense of inner peace. It's a practice that can transform your emotional landscape. Think about it. How often do you find yourself drained or upset by someone else's negative energy? How often do you let someone else's emotional state dictate how you feel? What if, instead of absorbing their toxicity, you allowed yourself to remain grounded and unaffected? This shift in mindset can have a profound effect on your well-being. It can help you maintain emotional resilience and navigate life's challenges without being derailed by external negativity. Take the example of a man named John, who was constantly dealing with a colleague at work who was rude and dismissive. John found himself becoming frustrated and angry every time they interacted, letting his colleague's behavior dictate his mood. But one day, John decided to apply a Stoic principle. He would no longer absorb his colleague's negativity. Instead of getting upset or trying to change the colleague's behavior, John practiced detachment. He observed the rudeness without reacting to it emotionally. Slowly, he found that the colleague's behavior no longer affected him. He maintained his emotional balance and his work performance improved as a result. John realized that by refusing to absorb his colleague's toxicity, he was not only protecting his energy, but also prioritizing his own happiness and growth. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of setting boundaries. Sometimes, Detaching from toxic people means distancing yourself from them altogether. It's essential to prioritize relationships that nourish and support you, rather than allowing toxic dynamics to drain your energy. This doesn't mean you abandon people who are struggling, but it does mean that you protect your emotional well-being by recognizing when it's time to step back. By learning to detach from others' toxicity, you free yourself from the burden of trying to fix or change them, which can often be a source of frustration and emotional exhaustion. Instead, you focus on your own growth, happiness, and resilience. In the process, you become empowered to move forward with clarity, strength, and peace. The next time you find yourself in a situation where someone is projecting negativity onto you, ask yourself, how can I maintain my peace in this moment? By practicing detachment, you create the space to protect your energy, preserve your inner peace, and continue growing without being derailed by external forces. This is one of the most empowering Stoic secrets, choosing not to absorb others' toxicity and instead staying true to your own emotional resilience and sense of self. Number 11. Release the need to fix others. One of the most persistent challenges in human relationships is the desire to fix or change others. We often feel a deep sense of care and responsibility for the people around us, especially when we believe they could be living better lives or making better choices. However, the truth, as modern Stoicism teaches, is that we cannot control or change anyone who isn't ready or willing to change themselves. This realization can be difficult to accept, but it's crucial for maintaining emotional balance and personal peace. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what is within our control, our own thoughts, actions, and reactions, rather than trying to alter the behaviors of others. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This implies that we should spend more time observing and understanding others, rather than trying to change them. When we attempt to fix someone, it often leads to frustration, conflict, and emotional exhaustion. The energy we invest in trying to change others is energy we could better spend on improving ourselves and growing as individuals. Trying to mold someone into our ideal vision of them rarely leads to success, especially if they are not open to change. Instead, Stoicism teaches us the power of acceptance. By accepting others as they are, we release the need to control their behavior and recognize that everyone is on their own path. We allow them the freedom to make their own choices without imposing our expectations on them. This shift in perspective can have a profound impact on our emotional well-being. When we stop striving to fix others, we free ourselves from unnecessary emotional strain. This creates space for healthier, more harmonious relationships because we learn to meet people where they are, without judgment or the burden of trying to change them. In modern life, this approach is particularly important. We live in a world that is full of differences in beliefs, values, and behaviors. Rather than trying to change others to fit our expectations, we can focus on how we respond to these differences. As Marcus Aurelius put it, reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. By accepting others as they are, without the need to fix them, we protect our peace of mind and avoid the emotional chaos that comes from trying to control things beyond our reach. The Stoics believe that true strength comes from accepting the things we cannot change and channeling our energy into things we can influence, namely our own thoughts, actions, and responses. This not only allows us to preserve our inner calm, but also fosters a sense of compassion, empathy, and understanding in our relationships. By letting go of the need to fix others, we stop wasting precious time and emotional energy on futile efforts. Instead, we open the door to more fulfilling, respectful relationships, grounded in acceptance and mutual growth. In doing so, we follow the timeless wisdom of modern Stoicism, which teaches us that the ultimate path to peace and emotional freedom lies not in trying to change others, but in changing our own approach to the world around us. This practice is not only essential for our personal well-being, but also for cultivating the kind of relationships that are built on understanding, respect, and mutual acceptance. Number 12. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful and transformative practice that serves as a key to emotional freedom and growth. When we hold on to negative emotions such as guilt, shame, or resentment, we allow them to anchor us, preventing us from progressing. Modern Stoicism teaches that true peace comes when we learn to forgive, not just others but also ourselves. Forgiveness is not about excusing past wrongs, but about letting go of the emotional burdens that weigh us down, creating space for healing and new possibilities. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury," highlighting that forgiveness is about freeing ourselves, not condoning harmful actions. By letting go of anger and grudges, we reclaim our peace and open the door to emotional resilience. The Stoics emphasize that we cannot change the past, but we have full control over how we respond to it. Forgiving ourselves is the first step in this process. It's an acknowledgement of our imperfections and the understanding that making mistakes is a part of being human. The Stoic practice of self-compassion encourages us to treat ourselves with the same kindness we would offer to a loved one, creating the emotional space necessary for healing and growth. When we forgive ourselves, we move past self-criticism and embrace a future filled with clarity and peace, unburdened by past regrets or failures. Equally important is the act of forgiving others. Holding grudges prolongs emotional pain, tying us to negative feelings that drain our energy. While we cannot control the actions of others, we always control our reactions. Forgiving others allows us to take back our emotional power, giving us the strength to move forward. This does not mean condoning harmful behavior, but choosing to release the emotional weight of anger, bitterness, or judgment. By forgiving, we empower ourselves, redirecting our energy toward positive growth and peace. Resentment only serves to give others control over our emotional state, but forgiveness lets us reclaim that power. Forgiveness is a process, not an instant solution. It requires patience and persistence. Healing takes time, and that's okay. With each step toward forgiveness, we shed the weight of emotional pain and create space for clarity and inner strength. As the Stoics taught, every moment is an opportunity to reshape our character. By forgiving ourselves and others, we pave the way for positive experiences and healthier relationships, ultimately cultivating greater peace and contentment. Forgiveness is not about excusing the past, but about liberating ourselves from it, allowing us to embrace the present and future with an open heart. In today's fast-paced world, where negativity can easily spread, the ability to forgive has never been more crucial. It's easy to get caught in the cycle of anger and resentment, but by practicing forgiveness, we free ourselves from emotional turmoil. Modern Stoicism teaches that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness but an act of emotional strength. It's vital for maintaining emotional clarity and resilience in a world that often feels out of control. By embracing forgiveness, we release the weight of past wrongs, creating space for healing and growth. In doing so, we transform our relationships and allow peace to flow more freely into our lives. Through the Stoic practice of forgiveness, we unlock the power to create a future filled with peace, purpose, and emotional freedom. Thank you for watching. I hope today's video has helped you understand how embracing Stoic principles can transform your life and empower you to navigate challenges with calm and resilience. Remember, true peace comes from within, and by focusing on what you can control, setting boundaries, and practicing emotional detachment, you can create a foundation of emotional strength. Now, I'd love to hear from you. How do you plan to apply Stoic teachings in your own life? Drop your thoughts and experiences in the comments below, and let's continue to grow together. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Stay strong, stay resilient, and until next time, live like a Stoic.